Oh, that's weird. It's never done that before.
Yeah, that's new. It's a new thing. Zoom updated and told nobody it was going to do that.
Cool. I'm pretty stoked for this. Guys, how long have the Jailbirds been together?
It's been a band for 5 years, 6 years now. 5 years, right, Liam?
Yeah.
The vibe. Have you found like just as musicians, the vibe gets easier like around year 4 or 5, like you kind of start to know each other on another level?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, playing music with somebody is it's pretty it's a very unique experience, to say the least. And then to play, a bunch of shows together, and you're around each other a lot. So definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because like when like Mike said, it's a unique experience. Like when you're playing together, you learn to sort of anticipate the person, like what they're planning on doing or how they kind of play. So you pick that up in like real life too. So you anticipate like what they're feeling, or like a change in their gesture, their body language. You're like, oh, I know exactly what he's thinking or wants to do, because you interpret it through music as well, and it just translates to everyday life. But I'd say I know the guys on a pretty deep level.
Yeah.
Deeper than I'd like to know.
Yeah, man, that's cool. Well, listen, thank you. I like the heavy hitting sound. I wasn't actually too familiar with you. And then my previous co-host Andrew Crawford, he was like, dude, you got to check these guys out. So we did. And right around the time I started knowing your music was like COVID, and I couldn't see you at all.
Oh, that sucks.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So it is what it is. A little bit of momentum lost, but I got you on the show, so I get to meet you kind of virtually, which is cool, man. So thank you.
Yeah,
I dig that. Who does what? What do you guys do in the band?
So I play guitar and I sing, lead vocals and the lead guitars and stuff.
Okay.
I am the rhythm guitar, I guess. I'm the rhythm lead guitar.
We share it, really. It's
we share the wealth. It's fun. We all get to do a little bit of schwangage, when we want to. So it's good.
Guitar harmonies, you can't just not do guitar harmonies.
There's one of my favorite bands is called Purple Melon, and they're from the UK. Have you ever heard of them?
I love that name. That's a fantastic name.
So if you guys are into like, the reason I like them a lot is it's guitar driven music. It's like heavy hitting. It's rock. And they both play a rhythm and lead part kind of simultaneously in a lot of parts of their songs. Like they're on that level, and it sounds killer. Check out Princess Peaches by Purple Melon. It's a great song. Okay. It's about a prostitute.
All right.
And Liam, I guess are you bass or drum?
I'm the bassist. Yeah.
You're the bassist. No drummer.
Not currently.
Yeah, we're working with like a I guess a hired gun, if you will, right now.
Nothing wrong with that. I heard a couple stories about working with hired guys where like as soon as the metronome turns on, the click disappears and they're playing, and you never hear it again until the end of the take. So listen, like you're hiring someone like that, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
He's definitely one of those guys for sure.
Yeah. I have a lot of respect. Do you want to shout him out on the show? I'm super happy to do that.
Oh yeah, no, his name is Jeff Cox. He's great guy, great drummer, and it's been really fun to work with him for the past little bit. And yeah, just everything he does is like we're like, yeah, that's
that's what we want.
I want to throw it over to John, because I was looking at your facial reaction, and kind of when Mike brought that up, you're like, your face lit up about this Jeff character. So what was that about?
Something about him, man. Like exactly what Liam was talking about before, how you can kind of anticipate what he's going to do. With Jeff, it's like you can't anticipate what he's going to do, but it's a new thing that he adds. And we're all like, you're kidding me. Like we would have never thought of that. And he just adds some little flavor to whatever the song might be. Mm-hmm. And we just look at him like, you fucking asshole. I can't believe you did that. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
He's he's so fun.
Almost offended that he like helped you improve the song, right?
Yeah. Like, why didn't I think of that? Yeah.
Was it like as seamless as that? There must have been challenge. I dig that though. If you guys knew each other, like I think it was Liam who was saying this, like when you pick up on the personality of another person, like as a musician, and you start to know their vibe, who they are, like that, it's so weird to describe to someone who doesn't play, but that highly increases your ability to like cooperate with them musically. So to know someone that long and them just pop along into your band is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. No, it just worked out like that. And then ever since then, we've been playing in one band or another that kind of turned into the Jailbirds.
Okay. And it's been about 5 or 6 years now. So kind of started 2015, 2016 kind of thing.
That's when the Jailbirds started, but we had a band starting in 2011. Yeah.
Okay. So then
that's how long we've been playing together, Liam and I. And then John came in. We played a gig with his old band, Sneaker Club, and it was funny how we kind of met, but then it wasn't until much later where like I saw a video on Facebook, I think, of John just playing like a Guns N' Roses song, and I was like, "Who's this guy?" And dug in a little more, and found all these videos of him playing all these things that I really enjoy, and it was like hard rock, whereas like this other band was like really like kind of indie pop kind of music and stuff, so completely different sounds. And so I never really even paid attention to it. And then I see him doing, I don't know, Night Train or something, and I was like, oh shit. And then I just reached out, and he was into it, and now here we are, like a year and a bit later now.
So a newer addition to the band then.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've been looking for, actually the band started in late 2015. It was a 5-piece. And so we had an organ player and another guitar player at the time. And so basically through the first year or so, when we were planning like our first EP and stuff, it got to that point where it's like, this is the fork in the road where we take it serious or we don't. And we lost some members basically in that. And we just continued on as a 3-piece because we tried people out. We tried to get new guitar players, but it just didn't work. And so we were just like, you know what, screw it. We're just going to go on as a 3-piece for as long as we did. And then after recording this last EP that we just put out, it really like, we were just like, there's so many different parts now. And, it's something we consciously did. And then it just kind of worked out that we met John, and it kind of worked out great in that way. It wasn't forced. And I think that's really, the best things come of that. It just kind of happened. So
yeah, I love that you said that. I think a lot of times, like I definitely did this myself, but I put a ton of pressure on myself to like achieve things musically. And when I used to do that, like I didn't achieve very much musically, just to put it blank, right? It can't be a forced thing in my opinion. So for it to happen naturally is really cool. I like that a lot. I don't want to skip over this. You just mentioned your EP. Let's talk about it. It's called Jungle. It just dropped like this week, like very recently. So where can people get that?
So you can pretty much find it like literally wherever you can listen to music. That's
YouTube. A really common answer.
Right? If you want the easiest way to get to it, you can go to our Instagram profile at Jailbirds Band, and you can find it our link tree in the profile, and it's got the links for literally everything like associated with our band. So you can Spotify, YouTube, you can do Tidal, Deezer, Bandcamp. It's all over the place.
Just throwing it everywhere. You never know who's going to hear what and where. You actually don't know who's going to hear what and where. And multiple streams of income. Like if it blows up on one site and it's like some small site like Rumble or whatever, and you don't know, and then it goes big because it's a smaller site and everyone on that site sees it. Like it just makes a lot of sense to put yourself everywhere if you're taking it serious.
Totally. Yeah.
So we could be a SoundCloud phenomenon. Who knows?
Seriously, right? Or a TikTok, right? Like and that's what, okay, do you guys like share your in between the song moments or not so much as a band? Because some bands are there and some bands are not there. Phyllis, they're like, I don't want to do that. Some bands do. But I have this theory in my head that like, I think the fans love to know the in between like weird stuff. They want to see like how Liam eats a sandwich if it's weird, or like you know what I mean, like or if one's like anything, someone who's always sleeping on the bus, like you just like, oh, he's sleeping again, like they get your personality and then they connect more because of that. Like do you do stuff like that, or no? I only kind of share the music and the art.
We definitely are trying to share more of that stuff. It's social media is not like something that we aspire to be really good at, but you know, try to learn and stuff like that. And now it's just, you know, it's kind of fun to do that stuff. Whereas before it seemed more like a chore to me, at least. But now it's just kind of like about not caring about it in a good way. Like it's just Instagram and Facebook and stuff. It really doesn't matter. There's bands out there that don't have a stellar Facebook, Instagram, whatever, TikTok profile going on, and they still sell out their tours and they still live off of it. You know, it's just, and there's artists and stuff that have millions of, you know, followers on Spotify or something, and they can't pull anybody to a show. So it's like, it's not an accurate representation. But anyway,
I like that answer. I like that answer. What do you think is more important then?
Connecting with the people that like your stuff, and you know they like your stuff, like just making friends with them, honestly, and just like, because yeah, they're all interesting people, and then they like your music, so like obviously there's a connection there. And so yeah, it's just about like building that community in the way of like, you just got to talk to people, and you know, got to start somewhere, and just if someone reaches out and says I love your music, then you know, push that, talk to them about it, right? Like don't just say thanks and then walk out, right?
Yeah, because it's like, it may be the first time, or maybe the 1,000th time you're explaining it, but it's the first time they hear.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, and like, you know, I would say our biggest fan of all time, Kaylin Provo, she found us. I think we like followed her on Instagram or something. And see, that's a good point about Instagram and stuff like that, is we followed her, and she just, I forget who said this to me, but I just loved this explanation of that exact tactic, which is like following someone to see if they like your profile or whatever. And it's basically like wearing your band shirt and walking by somebody and going like, hey. I just thought that was great. I love it, because it's just like that's basically what you're doing. You're kind of like putting your profile in front of somebody that might have not seen it otherwise. But anyway, like, yeah, that's how and then it was like a conversation. It was like she reached out, was like, oh my God, this is really cool. And then it just kind of started from there.
Killer. Liam and John, like, do you have parts that you're kind of focusing on to drive the, like, who does what in the team? I guess I'm asking now, like, what a lot of times when I meet a band, it's like, okay, this is social media. This person does, you know, our booking, this person's writing the songs. Like, some bands are like, no, we all just do whatever and we throw it around. Like, how's the vibe for you guys? What do you do?
I think it's somewhere in between that. Like, depending on, we come up with quite a lot of new tactics and a lot of new ideas, and sort of when those come up, it's kind of tossed around. You know, we want to hear everybody's input of how it should be. But for the most part, I know Liam's a great writer, so he's been handling a lot of, you know, bios and stuff like that. Right now, I handle the merch sales. Mike is taking a lead on the social media. You know, he's messaging fans and interacting, and yeah, but yeah, there's definitely things that we throw around and, you know, kind of have everybody have their say on, and it works really well, especially with new things like that. But yeah.
So, how much did it change the career of the band when you got the award for Best Mississauga Rock Band in 2018? Did that, like, is an award like that something bands should be aspiring to, or like, fuck it, bro, just play loud music and people will come?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely got us some recognition. Unfortunately, Mississauga doesn't really have like a lot of venues or anything like that, so it's kind of hard to play there as a rock band, specifically like us. Like, we're pretty heavy, especially. What's that?
There's a lot of clubs, but there's nowhere for a rock, like you said, nowhere for a rock band.
Exactly. Like, you can find gigs as maybe a cover band or a pop band or something like that, or anything hip hop or anything like that. But for like a band like us, like, there was nowhere. It was Toronto. That was it. Yeah, so it's just like it's really, yeah, it's awesome to be recognized like that. And it definitely got us like more. I don't even think our EP was out at that point. I think we only had a single out, like Black Madonna or something, if I remember correctly. And so I think it probably would have gotten us more traction if we had more of a setup, I think. But I mean, I don't think people should, like, in my opinion, I don't know if you should aspire to win an award like that. I think it's just like really cool to be recognized. But I think, we just aspired to write songs that we think are good. That's literally all it was. And so it's really awesome that they chose us as the winners. So yeah. Thanks again, Mississauga Music.
No, I dig that.
It's great.
How have you guys been dealing with lockdowns? What's your band's angle on that?
I'd say we've been handling lockdown actually a lot. I don't want to say a lot better than a lot of bands, but I think we've kind of had a good grasp on how to stay relevant while this is all going on and while we can't be out, hitting the road and playing shows. Social media is a huge part of it. The live show, we do a live show every month called Locked Up, and it's kind of a talk show. We have a guest on, and that's been really fun to do. It's kind of helped us meet new people. It's kind of helped us and stay relevant, and it's kind of a new thing. Like I don't see a lot of other bands or artists really doing anything like that. And so I think yeah, it's a lot of it is about staying active on your socials and talking to your fans, and we've been fortunate. We've had this EP come out, and so it's still some music to give the fans. But yeah, social media I think is a huge part of staying relevant while this is all going on. And,
yeah. So you guys pivoted and did a talk show.
Yeah.
Super cool. I didn't know that. So tell me about Locked Up.
It's pretty fun. It was kind of an idea we came up with to do sort of like a Wayne's World style, show. We could all be in our own homes, have a guest on, talk. And now it's actually becoming a lot more structured. We have segments. Each of us kind of takes a little time to talk to whoever's watching. And yeah, it's just been a lot of fun getting to speak with, fellow bands and just people out there, have them on, hear what they've been doing to kind of handle this whole lockdown situation. Because, it's not just affecting music, it's affecting everything, right? So it's kind of nice to hear their kind of angle on it. And for the most part, we listen to their angle on it, and then, everybody's kind of fed up talking about COVID. So it's nice to, get some laughs out and just, kind of hear their story about what it is they do. And it's been a lot of fun, especially just for me. I've been having a great time doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really just like a hangout, just to like take your mind off of everything, really. Like just chill for a bit, just think about something else.
Yeah.
People need that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's a virtual beer with the boys. That's
exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, I dig that. And kind of getting back to it, it's a little bit different than my example, but that's sort of them seeing each of the individual personalities right there. Like that's a cool way. I really believe it. Like I've talked to people on the show and they've said, Ziggy Alberts from Australia, he's like, yeah, sometimes people like at the end of the gig, they come up and they like unload their baggage on me. Like they just tell me all this stuff that I don't really need to know, but they're telling a complete stranger and I've never met them. And we kind of talked it through and we rationed out that he had built such a good emotional connection with them online that they knew they felt at least that they knew his personality enough that he's going to be a trustworthy person that they can unload on.
Wow.
And it's like this weird, like he's developed a relationship with multiple people online at the same time. And he does this kind of like interactive community that you guys are also building. Like, I think that's fair, that you're already on the right track. And that's a connection. I always like to ask like different musicians. This will be different for each of you. When did you find out that you were like musically talented? Like how old were you? When did you kind of start? Was it like I was the kid who was like tapping with my fingers and my teachers hated me? Like that's how I found it, right? What about you guys?
For me, I started playing guitar when I was about 9 years old, and it was always something I wanted to do ever since I was a little kid. You know, I had the Fisher Price guitar that like folded up into a violin somehow, but it was always in guitar mode because that's way cooler.
Way cooler.
Way cooler. And I used to, my dad's a huge rock fan, and there was always music kind of playing in the car and in my house. And I remember watching, I think it was a Kiss live video. And I was like, man, these guys are like superheroes. You know what I mean? Like that was because, you know, I didn't really get into, you know, your Spider-Man and, you know, all superheroes. Like I was always like, man, they Kiss, like they're superheroes. Right. And so I used to watch that, and I would stand in front of the TV, you know, with my tongue out and, you know, doing that thing. And then one day, for Christmas, actually, my grandparents bought me a guitar, because I guess my parents just kind of thought I was really into it, and that was all I ever like. I would go to bed at night with the stereo on, listening to Van Halen and Zeppelin, and I would have, you know, that's how I'd fall asleep. I actually remember falling asleep to the Black Album by Metallica and listening to Enter Sandman, which is literally a song about nightmares, which used to help me fall asleep. It's very quiet, you know. I used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam, you want to respond to that? Your face is pretty funny in reaction.
I mean, it's how old were you?
I was like 8 years old.
To Metallica.
Yeah.
I didn't even get into Metallica until I was like 13.
I was 8. Yeah.
You were using it as lullabies.
Literally, man. Yeah. I put the Black Album, man. I popped that on, and that's how I fell asleep.
Wow.
So then I started taking lessons, and I had a really cool teacher. His name's Joe Huron. I still talk to him. He's amazing. Bass player and guitar player, and he's just like a jazz wizard. But he can play anything. Like, he's amazing. And I think the thing that really kept me going was that when I would go to him for lessons, it wasn't like, okay, here's your book, we're gonna learn the major scale today, like that's your first thing. It was like, yo, like, what song do you want to learn? Who's your favorite band? And I was like, AC/DC, obviously. Then I was like, I want to learn TNT by AC/DC, and that was the first song I ever learned. And it was every week I would go and I'd learn a new song, and I was like, man, I'm doing it, you know, I'm doing what I wanted, you know, when I was a kid watching those videos. And I kind of started to realize I was getting good when I would learn a song, and then I would come the next week and play the song, but play it differently, like play it in a different position on the neck or something. And he'd be like, how did you figure that out? I'm like, well, I just listened to it and it sounded like it, you know? And I've never been a good music reader at all. I was always just using my ears. Like, I could hear a song and just begin to play it. And that's kind of when I realized, I was like, okay, like I love this, like, cause I didn't like doing anything else. But yeah, and I think that's what really kind of helped me keep going, was learning those songs and listening, you know, using my ear. But yeah, that's kind of when I realized that.
Cool, man. That was a good story. For the record, like, in my humble opinion, I would take an ear capable musician over a visual capable musician on stage to play with any day. I don't care who challenges that, like any day. But I also think that a lot of times when you see someone reading, they have an incredible ear. They're just also reading. So
yeah.
Liam, what about you, man? How'd you find out you were like musically talented?
I mean, I grew up around music, same as probably every musician, I think, at this point. But I as a kid, I grew up around music. My dad used to do Bob Marley in the kitchen with dinner. He listened to Genesis all the time, Santana, Dean Martin, like a whole array of music. My mom was big into the Susie and the Banshees and David Bowie and all that stuff. So I've always been around music, but I think I kind of realized that I was at least decently gifted in music when it was something that I finally realized that I couldn't ignore. It wasn't something that I could just like tune out anymore. Like every time a song was on, I was listening to it. I was listening to what was going on. I was listening to how the chord progression went. I was listening to the melody. Like I was into the song. When the song comes on, I am that song. And it's just translated further and further into that. So I'm a bit of the same as John. I'm a very like audible learner as well, but I don't know. I've just always been unable to ignore music. I know there's some people that really like music. They're like, I love music. I listen to music all the time. Like when a song is on, I can't not listen to it. It's not possible for me. I can't tune out a single thing. If it's jazz, if it's soul, if it's funk, if it's reggae, if it's R&B, pop, like it's physically impossible for me to not be in a song.
I dig that, man. I really dig that. Yeah. I have this, like, if I see like a moving image, like a GIF or whatever, my brain puts sound to it. And whenever I'm falling asleep, I know I'm actually falling asleep when I start hearing my dreams, like little shit like that. Like I knew I was more predominantly audible than visual, like pretty young, and it kind of led to the same thing. No, I do that. I really like what you said. When that song comes on, I am that song. Dig the fuck out of that, man. That's awesome.
Quote of the day.
Super like it. Mike, man, what about you? How'd you find out you were talented, man?
I don't know if I even think I'm talented. So that's
rough.
Oh,
there's always that crippling
we've all heard you.
self-doubt.
That's like the person who gets the A+ on the math test and you got like a B- and you're like, hey, what'd you get? And they're like, oh, I'm not very good. And then they show you their like A+, and you're like, get out of here.
I don't know. I guess the first thing I remember, I'm trying to think, like I know when I wanted to take guitar lessons, that was like when, because I started as a guitar player mainly. I didn't want to sing at all, and the thing was I was doing all these different things. I could tell my parents were trying to like get me into something as like a hobby or something, whether it was like sports or something. And so I was on my way home from, I think, Taekwondo. I was doing that at the time, and Thunderstruck came on the radio, and it was like, oh, what is that? Just like Liam said, like it was like I couldn't not listen to it. Like it was nothing had ever really grabbed my attention like that before, or it just I couldn't shake this feeling of like I need to do that. I don't know why I felt like that, but I was like I have to do that. Even before like the vocals get this, we're talking like 10 seconds of listening, and I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. And nothing had been so like clear to me before. I was probably like 13, I think 12 maybe, and I was just like, that's it. This is the thing. And it wasn't until I met my teacher of a long time, Dion, who he really like showed me kind of everything I know in a way. Like he just showed me how to learn myself, first of all, how to use my ear and stuff like that, and to learn songs. And just the same kind of thing as like what John experienced. He wasn't like about the book in that way. He would say, what song do you want to learn? And then I'd be like, this one, whatever, Guns N' Roses song or something. And he would just show it to me. And then once I was stoked on it playing it, he'd be like, oh, this is the theory behind it. This is what you're playing. And that was really, really useful and great. I'm just lucky that I've had a few teachers like that in my life. So I'm kind of lucky that I had that, like Miss Denise, our guitar teacher and music teacher in high school. Liam and I shared her as a teacher. And she was the same way. She was the person that pushed me to sing in the first place. And because I guess she kind of told me, to answer your question specifically, like she was the one that was like, you have a good voice, so you should sing. And I was like, no, I'm a guitar player. And then I was kind of like, at the time, Liam and I were in a band together there in high school, and like we had our buddies singing, and it got to the point where like I was writing all the lyrics and melodies and everything for the songs, and I was kind of like, sing it like this. And like it just like, he didn't really like being the lead singer, and it was just kind of like, at one point we just kind of went, what if I sang the song, this one? And he's like, yeah, great. And then it just kind of happened.
He
It just
started
kinda-
giving you more and more. What if you sang
Yeah.
these ones too?
yeah. And it was, I don't know. It's just kind of almost out of like, not necessity. It was just kind of like, I guess, I don't know why I was reluctant to do it, but now I can't imagine not doing it. It's just like, it's a part of my life in a lot of ways now. So it's interesting. Yeah, totally.
I dig that, man.
I think
had
that's the thing with singing. It's such a oh, sorry.
No.
I was gonna
Please
say,
go
it's,
ahead.
Singing is just such a personal thing. Like it's
It's a
you're
vulnerable state.
really putting yourself out there when you're singing, right? It's like there's no hiding behind it. Like that's you. Like you can't really change your voice, right? So it's I was reluctant to sing, just like I think a lot of people are at first, and for me it came out of necessity as well. It was like, oh well, we kind of need harmonies on this song, and I'm like, yeah, okay,
Well,
like,
that's
all right,
me.
like I'll sing them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's it's kind of a scary thing, but sometimes you're just forced to do it, and you gotta get over it.
It's a confidence thing for sure.
Hell yeah. So having a snapshot of where you guys are now, what's coming?
What is coming? I'm trying to think. Well,
What's the plans?
There's a bunch of stuff like that we can't really say for sure yet.
Oh,
we're trying to work on shows.
Cliffhangers.
Yeah.
I love cliffhangers. Okay. So
we're trying
what's maybe on the docket?
So shows is what I mean. And so like we're trying to book stuff for the fall. It looks relatively hopeful for some stuff. And there's a live stream thing that we're doing over the summer. I can't get too specific with it, I don't think. But that's all I can say, I guess, about that.
Yeah, I'm not asking for you to unravel secrets that
No.
I don't want to get you in trouble or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm just trying to remember. But what was the other big thing? We're always working on the next, song or album as well. So we already have recordings that we're working on right now and trying to write a few more. We're kind of, tossing the ideas around between another EP or do we do an album or something like that. And so we're just writing more songs. And, with COVID, it's holding a lot of things back. So there's like some things that we want to plan, but can't really necessarily maybe like put hard dates to it yet. But it's just about, being able to get back together and just like get something solid. And I guess you could say. But always writing and always like keeping up. Join our fan club on Facebook. I'm pretty sure it's public. You can just search it, the Jailbirds fan club. And we're always like giving sneaks there and stuff like that. So if you're interested in hearing like songs, demos and stuff, we're probably going to post some demos relatively soon and all that fun stuff too. So follow us on there.
Dope, man. Yeah, I like that. So really, as soon as we can book we're booking gigs. We maybe have something coming special online for the folks, and we're just pumping out music, as many as Liam can possibly write.
That's right.
I did that, man. All right. I have a good idea, but I'm excited to follow it, man. Okay, 2 more questions. This is the one of them. They're both like my favorite 2 questions. Here we go. Okay. Do you guys have any crazy tour stories? Do you have any like ridiculous stuff that's happened?
Well, this is gonna be you guys, man. I haven't been fortunate enough to go with these guys on tour.
I'm trying to think of one funny.
The only thing I can think of, it's not crazy. It's more just hilarious.
Okay.
For me at least.
Sure.
And there's a separate incident that's not crazy either, but like sweet. Love that it happened. We were prepping for a gig. And I think Mike was in the bathroom. You're staying at a buddy's place in Ottawa.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Mike went to go shower in the morning or in the afternoon. He went to go shower, and this place is real small, right? 1 bathroom, 1 bed. You're sleeping on the couches, and the shower water goes on. We're chatting with the guy. We're having a beer or 2, and all we hear is Mike just start going, like doing his warm ups in the shower. And it sounds. We thought he was taking a shit. I was like, what? What is okay? And he was like doing all the warm up, and we could all hear it.
Yeah.
And he gets out, and he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing, man."
Everyone just staring at him leaving the shower.
Yeah, I heard you laughing through the door. Heard all y'all.
I have one crazy show story, not with these guys, but I really want to share it because I just remembered. It's hilarious.
Unleash it.
So I was playing a show with my old band Sneaker Club in Guelph, and a buddy of my lead singer Dan let us stay at his place, which was really cool of him. And it was one of those terrible, December days, black ice everywhere. Like it was just brutal, right? So we went to his buddy's place first just to kind of like drop our gear off, like our sleeping stuff off. And so Dan had his car. We were in Dan's hatchback. That's how we used to tour, all the gear and us, like gear on our laps, gear. It was hilarious. And so the car was sliding on the black ice and it was stuck. And we had to be at the venue in like 10 minutes or something like that. We didn't leave enough time. And so my drummer, Brian, and I got out and we're pushing the car, trying to get it out. And the tires are spinning like in the snow. And so we ran back, we pushed at it again and it was kind of going. And then the last push, Brian slipped and fell. And I think he might've sprained his ankle. Something happened. He was hurt. And it was his foot, his kick foot too.
Oh my gosh.
It was not good. And so we kind of like helped him into the car, got to the venue, helped him walk in the venue, like helped him load in.
Wow.
And he played. He still played. And every time he said every time he hit the kick pedal, it hurt.
Oh.
Every single kick. And he was just like, he's a trooper, man. He played, and it was actually a great show. Like it turned out amazing. But yeah, that was, man, I'll never do that again. Always leave enough time before you get to the venue.
Yeah, you're not joking. Yeah. You never know what's gonna happen. Are you guys open to hearing a crazy one of mine? You just reminded me. It was also on the drive on the way there. I like right hand up. I swear to you, this is a true story. We were supposed to be at a gig. We gave ourselves an hour's time. Okay, we were driving there. It was a 10-minute drive. We gave ourselves an hour. I shit you not. This is a real story. We're driving like 1 block away from the house where we live, and coming at us is a Jeep, and we see it, and he is looking at our red light, and he's going to turn to his right. So he's going to make like a quick turn around the corner, and this old man and a wife, this is real, and he pulls up, and she's like, she stays, he starts walking, the Jeep owner's looking left, isn't looking right, runs the guy over. So now we're witnesses to this guy like literally under a Jeep. The Jeep owner gets out, he's freaking out. I'm driving. I tell my guy, I'm like, Matt, you have to call the 911. Like, we just saw this. Like, so we're waiting there. Dude, we get to the show. We just go in. We plug our stuff in. They're like, yeah, you're right on time. We plug it in. We just say like, this is what we just went through. We're just going to rock it. And we just had like the most cathartic, like relaxed, like we just were like, we're just going to play. We're both in a weird state right now. We just went through this and we killed it. Like, it was a good show, but the energy was just weird the whole night from like just seeing that. So you never know what you're going to run into on the way to.
Wow. Yeah, that's
crazy.
Wild.
That's a real story, man. It was actually insane to see. And you're just like, am I dreaming right now? Did I actually watch that? Did that happen? Yeah. And then, it is what it is. But so sorry to dampen the mood with that one.
Oh my gosh.
All right, man. Last question. This is my favorite one. It's different for all of you. You don't have to elaborate. You don't have to. Some people do. Some people don't. Okay. there's no wrong answer, and this is my real favorite question. It's what I do this show for. Okay, you're not allowed to say music. If you say music, I'm gonna punch you in the throat.
Okay.
To the screen.
Right.
Okay. If you say music, what is the one skill aside from music that has really helped you in your career?
I think for me, it's people skills, communication, speaking to people, and and listening to what people have to say. After gigs, I always try and go out and talk to people, and I used to love sitting at the merch table, having people come up and just chatting with them. I've made lifelong friends from just talking to people after gigs, and just reaching out to other artists and bands on social media and just being like, man, I love what you do, and it's truly amazing. Like, everybody is so supportive of everybody. Everybody will check out what you do when you check out what they do, and it resonates with you. Definitely people skills. I think that's the most important thing, other than having a great song, that you have to have in order to be successful in the music industry. It's just, be a good person, and talk to people.
I like that answer. Networking, people skills, really, really, really crucial. We have a colloquial rule. I'm working on like Drivewire's top 5 set of rules for artists. And rule number 1 has to be, don't be a dick.
It is.
You can't,
100%.
not even one time, because you're an asshole to one person. Like, God, that guy Carter was an asshole. And then it ruins other opportunities because word spreads so fast. Like, yeah, I heard he's decent, but he's just got the shittiest attitude. Like, you can't be a dick to anybody. So yeah, I love it. Have good people skills, man. Good answer. Oh, He's gone.
Oh,
Mic dropped.
We lost him. No worries. We got his answer. You guys.
See ya.
No worries. I'm back.
He's back.
Somebody started phoning me. People skills. See?
Oh, there they.
That's right. The connection, man. All right.
Mr. Popular over there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No worries, man. That'll be $700. All right, Mike, what's going on?
I want to say I've worked in a lot of jobs that involve like inventory and being organized and all this kind of stuff. And I think that has really come in handy with doing the band stuff, because it really just, because organization is huge. It's a business, like you have to keep track of things like the money and, your merchandise and planning things, and, scheduling and stuff between multiple people is always a nightmare. So it's just, those things really, like I've actually like even recently, like really like kind of like lifted what my managers have done in certain situations that really proved to work quite well. And it was like, oh damn, that's just seeing it myself, like that was the result. Okay, like it obviously works then. So then I'm just trying to like apply it to band stuff, and it works great. It's just like, and it's nothing fancy. It's just like good business practices, if you will, really. That's really come in handy for sure.
And this is what pops out to me about that, is that being a creative person and being the kind of person who's going to keep track of things diligently oftentimes are like on the other end of the scale of who people are. And so to have them both in the same person is rare and helpful.
Yeah, for
definitely.
Sure.
Yeah, I dig that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Liam, you got anything, or are you too cool for school?
I don't have many
He's
skills.
Too cool for school.
It's not a skill, it's more of a physical attribute. I can fit into small spaces.
Yeah, there you go.
Mentally get rides to gigs because I can fit into really small cars with a lot of gear. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Pile the cabs on me. I take about a foot of space. I can sleep anywhere. That's a good skill. I can sleep literally anywhere.
I'm I'm envious of you for that, for sure.
Yeah.
I once used my own shoe as a pillow, and I slept on the floor with no blanket. Took my shoe off and I slept on it, so I can sleep anywhere. That's my skill.
Hardwood.
That's
like-
helped me in my career.
That's
sleep.
a
That's like
funny
Survivor
picture.
Man shit right there, man. That's like
Yeah.
Les Stroud. Like,
If
my
I
God.
did that, I'd wake up like an 80-year-old man. I'd be like, oh.
I know.
But also, like as a bassist, you kind of have the smallest spot on the stage too. So stand by the cymbal, but don't touch the cymbal.
Exactly. 100%. It's happened before.
And simultaneously the biggest instrument.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
right. That's right. Do you just out of curiosity, do you use full amp and cab, or are you using like just a little direct in box when you're gigging?
Oh no, I have a 412. I've got and I've got my big.
So you still like to carry heavy stuff to your gigs?
The cab is lighter than it seems. It looks like an Ampeg fridge, but it doesn't feel like an Ampeg fridge, and it's got
Spoken like a
handles.
true bassist. Yeah, it's not that bad.
I mean, we've carried up completely vertical sets of stairs, but that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
like on the head, like one of those
Any sort of orientation you can imagine, we have lugged that cab up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I dig that. What was the hardest place you think to load your gear in?
I think
Smiling
it was
Buddha.
Smiling Buddha, that's the one.
Where's that?
I don't know if it's still a thing anymore. It was a few years
The
ago,
world's
and
smallest basement.
yeah, it's basically like there's an upstairs thing, and there's an upstairs thing, and there's like a dog barking. I don't know if you can hear that, but upstairs stage, and then a downstairs basement stage with like where the kitchen is too and stuff. So it's like a stage, and it's like it's basically just a corner of the room. And we played a show down there, and the staircase, like you have to turn sideways yourself, just by yourself, to get down it. So getting the cabinet down there was quite interesting. But we
Almost
did it.
like want to like roll it to the top and just kick it down. Like
We
Yeah.
did actually say that.
We thought about it. It's a tank of a cabinet. So we were like, you know what, it might survive. It might be fine.
It would survive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I want to throw my 4x12 down the stairs. That's
Yeah.
difficult. Where, what city is the Smiling Buddha in?
Toronto.
It's Toronto. Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
it sounds familiar. I was like, I didn't know if that, like, I saw you guys had been touring it anywhere like Ontario, kind of Southwest Ontario, all the way over to like Montreal, Quebec kind of area. So, I didn't know if that was in Toronto or not.
Yeah.
Dope, man.
Mhm.
Dope.
Yeah.
Listen, aside from everywhere, where can people go to support the band? Like, can they buy your merch places? Like, what
Yeah.
can they do to support you guys?
Yeah, you can directly support the band by going to our website, thejailbirds.com. Our store is on there with all of our available merch and all that kind of stuff. And actually, depending on when this airs, I'm not 100% sure, but there is a sale that's going to be going on for somewhere in the month of June. So take a look for that. And
Nice. I got to
yeah,
start
we've got-
coordinating now with my people. Maybe we'll get like a Drivewire discount or whatever for some peeps and throw some merch at them. That'd be cool for you
Yeah.
guys.
that'd be sick. Yeah, absolutely. We're into it.
We'll have that
Um,
conversation. I'll get that forwarded over to Fran and Dom.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, through our website, you can find whatever you need. Our links to the Bandcamp, Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you are looking for, like our link is through our website. Like I said, join our mailing list, which is also through the site. Everything, like I said, is through the site. And join the fan club on Facebook as well for some exclusive insight on stuff.
Exclusives. I love
Things that we
exclusives.
won't share anywhere else. Right?
Oh
Like,
man, I love exclusives. I'm gonna go sign up for that right now.
Maybe we'll take you through like MTV Crib style, and I'll show you what's inside
Oh.
my fridge. Like, who knows, man?
Yo,
Like,
Oh,
pretty
shit.
exclusive.
that's a great idea.
What's
Yeah.
inside
Write that
my
down.
musician's
Write
fridge?
that down.
Write
Yeah.
it down. Write it down.
I got like some mustard here. Like I got
Yeah.
some like onions from a while ago. That's awesome, man. Yo, thank you guys for coming on the show. I really had a lot of fun chatting with you.
Yeah, no, our pleasure,
Of course,
man. Thanks for
man.
having us.
Anytime.
That was super fun. I would love to get together and have a jam, make some music, put some notes down, or even just meet you guys in the studio once COVID's over. Let's do an actual interview where we're in the same room. That would be fun.
Yeah, man.